That $299 cruise looks like a deal until it quietly turns into an $800 mistake. And here's the scary part. Even smart travelers fall for it, not because they didn't do their research, but because the cruise industry has spent decades perfecting the art of the low number, the number that gets you in the door, the number that was never meant to cover your whole trip. So today, we're pulling back the curtain on every cost they don't mention up front, because once you see it, you can plan for it. And planning for it is the difference between a dream vacation and a bill that haunts you for weeks. Let's start with the base fare, that number you see in the ad. That $299 covers your cabin and your transportation from port to port. That's it. Everything else is extra. The cruise lines know that number is what makes you click, what makes you call, what makes you book. And by the time you realize what's missing from it, you're already emotionally invested in the trip. Now let's talk about gratuities, because this one catches people completely off guard. Most major cruise lines automatically add a daily gratuity charge to your onboard account. We're talking $16 to $20 per person per day. On a 7-night cruise for 2 people, that's nearly $300 added to your bill before you spend a single dollar on board. It's not optional, it's just there. And if you didn't know to budget for it, it stings. But here's where it gets worse. Drinks. Most cruise lines do not include alcohol in that base fare. A single cocktail runs $12 to $16. Wine, similar range. Even specialty coffee and bottled water are often charged separately. If you and your travel partner have a few drinks a day, which honestly, it's vacation, you could be looking at $100 to $150 in beverages every single day. On a week-long cruise, that's over $1,000 just on drinks. Now, the cruise lines will offer you a drink package. They market it hard, but here's what they won't tell you up front. Those packages run $70 to $100 per person per day. And on most ships, if one person in the cabin buys a package, everyone has to. So before you assume the package saves you money, do the actual math based on how much you realistically drink. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's absolutely not. And this is where most budgets completely fall apart. Dining. Your ship has a main dining room and a buffet, both included, but it also has specialty restaurants, the steakhouse, the sushi bar, the Italian bistro, and those carry a cover charge, anywhere from $20 to $60 per person per meal. If you're a foodie and those menus look incredible, that's a cost you need to plan for before you sail, not discover on your final statement. Then there are excursions, and this is where cruises quietly make the most money. When your ship docks in Cozumel, Nassau, or the Bahamas, you can book shore excursions directly through the cruise line. Convenient? Yes, but heavily marked up. A snorkeling tour that costs $40 through a local operator might run $95 or more when booked through the ship. Multiply that across multiple ports, 2 people, and a full itinerary, and excursions alone can add $500 to $800 to your trip. Book smart. Research your ports before you sail. Find local operators with strong reviews. And if you do book through the ship, go in knowing what that convenience costs you. And this is the part nobody expects. Wi-Fi. You're in the middle of the ocean, there's no signal, and suddenly you realize you never thought about internet access. Cruise ship Wi-Fi packages run $20 to $35 per day per device. If you need to stay connected for work or just to share photos with family back home, that's another real number to add to your budget. And then there are the quiet things, the spa menu that looks reasonable until you see the prices, the ship photographers who catch you at dinner looking your best and you absolutely will buy that photo, the themed bars, the specialty cocktails, the casino. None of it is hidden, it's all in the fine print somewhere, but none of it is visible when you're staring at that $299 fare either. Here's the honest truth. Cruising can be one of the best vacations you ever take. The people who feel burned are almost always the ones who didn't know what to expect. And the ones who come back year after year, they planned realistically, budgeted for the extras, and made intentional choices about where to spend and where to save. So before you book, do the real math. Add the gratuities. Decide on your drink strategy. Research your ports. Set a budget for the extras you actually care about. Because a cruise that costs $299 to book can genuinely be the trip a lifetime, as long as you're ready for what it actually takes to do it right.